I was doing sprints the other day. Oh, my back is tightened up. I'm waiting for it to curve into the shape of my cycling position. This getting old thing is rubbish. It's DOMS really. Oh, pretty. You know, delayed onset muscle soreness. Oh, YouTube. So a number of people have asked me about starting YouTube, or are in YouTube and worried about their numbers. But for me, I was chatting last week about how when I started this job, YouTube didn't exist. By the way, I've had a few days off this week, hence no anatomy video, getting a bit of energy back. But when YouTube started to appear, you know, we were making occasional videos for things. What's prompted this is I'm giving a couple of embryology lectures this morning in an hour or so, and I have some animations, I have some videos to support what I'm talking about, gastrulation and stuff. And I had a buddy, Steve Atherton, who is a medical illustrator and is fantastic at making 3D animations, and made these off his own back in his own time because he enjoyed doing it, because he wanted to, because he relished in the challenge and the creativity, right? I don't know if you know, but I wrote a couple of textbooks. One of them is Embryology at a Glance. So Steve was making a series of animations for this. And back then, and still now to an extent, the question is, how do you share these videos? It's a pain in the butt. Where do you host them? How do you stream them? Because you've got to pay for storage and bandwidth and stuff, right? So YouTube does all the heavy lifting for you. You can store your videos there for free. They'll re-encode them, resize them, stream them. We used YouTube as a tool, one of those tools I talked about last week, that you play with it and work out what you can use it for. And it wasn't about what YouTube is now, which is about building a channel, a community, numbers, an audience. It was just about, here is somewhere I can host these videos, share them with our students, which I'm going to do live during the lectures this morning. I'm going to play them live, right, alongside my discussions. So that's how you can use YouTube. Morning. Feels good to go back to work after a few days off, doesn't it? Feels quite nice. A bit of enthusiasm comes back. I went through this last night, of course. You always end up presenting from your laptop as well, because you end up making little changes all the time. This is always the latest version. But it never hurts to go through it once more. So we were using YouTube as a tool, right? And I started making regular YouTube videos because I thought it would be fun and interesting. I thought it would add to my teaching, so I only get to spend so much time with students. I wanted to break down the barrier between student and teacher. So the vlogging carried on from the blogging, and I wanted to share with some of my wider flung family what my family was up to. I still create videos now for the same reasons I did then. It is fun, it is interesting, it's challenging. I'm learning a lot by making videos. I'm learning about making videos, but I'm also learning about my subject in more detail than I would if I was just teaching the same thing year in, year out. If you want to start a channel, if you want to start the YouTube thing, think about why you want to do it. Don't worry about the numbers, the size, the classic YouTube stuff, those stupid typical thumbnails which are designed for people to click on, and the stupid clickbaity titles. Just what are you sharing? Why are you sharing it? Write it on a post-it note, stick it somewhere obvious and keep that as your focus. This channel's got quite big. Still don't see this as a big channel because most of my new videos don't get a lot of views. But over a long period of time, because they're mostly educational videos, they accumulate views. So I've just been in it for the long haul, and it has slowly grown. And it's been really nice. I've had some really nice comments this week about people. Yeah, a lot of people get a lot out of my videos, which is great. But it seems to have taken them down paths and pushed them along in their lives, which I'm sure is more to do with them than me. But I feel useful, right? Those original ideas of, I'm going to make videos because it'll be fun and interesting and it'll be useful to my students, keeps getting ticked off, which is cool. And it is hard, it is difficult. So that sort of information, that sort of feedback is interesting. Now I know, so the other thing is that I don't advertise my channel, right? I'm not a classic YouTuber. I've got a job. I teach anatomy. And the YouTube is like, again, it's the tool that hosts videos that lets me teach anatomy. So I'm not good at advertising or sharing. I don't take sponsorships. I did one once because they were cool and I like that bunch of people. Do you see what I mean? I'm not doing the classic YouTube stuff. I'm not very good at blowing my own trumpet anyway, but I'm not interested in making my channel huge. If it gets big, it'll do it on its own accord. Great. What I'm trying to say is, ignore all that typical YouTube stuff. Forget all those expectations, all that. YouTube, universities, they love you worrying about metrics. Don't worry about all of that. Why do you want to do what you're doing? Do it. If you make something that is useful to somebody else, is there any greater reason for doing it? And you might not feel like many people are benefiting from what you're doing in the first week after you make it, but you leave it long enough. Snowball, rolling stone, no. Anyway, it slowly accumulates views. And if people find it useful, how many people need to find it useful for it to be worthwhile doing for you? 1, 10, 1,000, 1,000,000? Just start. The hardest thing to do is start. And then once you're started, the hardest thing to do is to keep going. But yeah, good luck. If you don't enjoy it, you can always stop.